Welcome mates, I am Bloodthirsty Lord, but you can call me Lordy, and today we'll be talking about Devil May Cry 5, a new game that will be coming out next year in 2019, and we're going to talk about some of the Devil Breakers, or pretty much all the Devil Breakers that have been revealed, with some gameplay attached to them as well, highlighting some of the combos and some of the abilities you can use these Devil Breakers, which are essentially arms that act like additional weapons for Nero to use in the Devil May Cry 5 experience. So this is going to be a fun one, and just going to be a fun one to discuss these abilities and see what they can actually do. But before we get this video, make sure you smash that blind like button. We are aiming for 100 likes on this video. That would be greatly appreciated if we achieve that goal. And also, if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the gaming content on the daily. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. Devil Breaks are essentially robotic arms that Nero can use as replacements for his missing arm, and they give him special abilities. There's 7 to 8 of them that have been confirmed, and also there's the 8th one that we might discuss in this video as well. And depending on what Devil Breaker arm that you're using, it will provide different abilities, different combos, and help you in different situations. But also there's a state of every arm which is called breakage. And essentially, you lose that Devil Breaker arm, but you do this amazing combo ability that does a lot of damage. So now let's jump into these Devil Breakers. The first one being Overchuck. It was the first ever Devil Breaker arm created for Nero, and then it also does have this effect called Battery. And essentially acts like electricity, but the way it's being used depends on what state you're in. If you're on the ground, on the floor, in the air doing a combo and doing some aerial attacks, if you do use this battery effect or the Overchuck arm, it does provide some type of electricity damage, and it's usually AoE or single target. It just depends how many enemies you are in front of. The second Devil Breaker arm is Gerbera, which contains 2 breakage moves, the first one being Stem Array, which is a ground variant of this breakage move and does like a long beam effect of damage. The second variant being Puddle Ray, which is a split effect of damage in the air. So this does depend on what state you are in order to do this certain breakage move. The next Devil Breaker is Punchline, being the third Devil Breaker. Becomes a rocket, hits multiple targets from multiple directions. Usually this is great against single targets, but can also work against multiple targets, I'm pretty sure, but obviously it will do less hits per target. And there is a second variant with the Punchline Devil Breaker, which is that Nero can also ride the rocket, which can provide him with some mobility, be able to skate around, aka drift, with this rocket, and then also he can take the rocket to certain locations and explode it and jump off it, or he can perform some aerial attacks while on the rocket and attacking his enemies with it before it does explode. Before we move on to the 4th Devil Breaker, with any of these Devil Breaker arms, they do have breakage moves. Some of them are known, some of them are not known, but also the animations that are highlighted for each arm when they does do like a unique aspect, like it opens up or some elements come out of the actual arm, that is usually a breakage move of some sort for the arm. And now let's move on to the 4th arm, being Tomboy. And this does have some unique properties, which is that it doesn't need to lock onto enemies because it does have like no lock on, and then anything above it or in front of it or on the ground will get hit by this ability from the Tomboy. And it pretty much does damage, knocks back the enemies, and also knocks them down, which is kind of the effects that you get off when using the Tomboy. But it also has the main property of powering up your Red Queen or your Blue Rose. The Red Queen being your sword and the Blue Rose being your gun that you can use when playing Nero. So having the Tomboy and using some of these abilities will power up your actual weapons or your essential weapons that you're going to use constantly and give them more damage output overall. So the main gimmick is trying to get those stats increased on your main weapons as much as possible during your fights and your combos. The 5th Devil Breaker arm is called Ragtime. And this is really interesting because it has a lot more story to it than we know. Because it mentions something about how it contains demon power, but we don't know what that demon power is and how it got into the Devil Breaker arm of Ragtime until we played the story of Devil May Cry 5. The Ragtime Devil Breaker essentially gives Nero the ability to stop time, and he's able to freeze his enemies in place when he's allowed to walk around and set up for his next attacks or combos or abilities from other Devil Breaker arms. If you can do that at the same time, I'm not too sure, but the idea is to give you the chance to set up, take a breather before going back into the fight and destroying the creatures. The number 6 Devil Breaker arm is Helter Skelter, and this is really awesome because it essentially acts like a drill attack, and it gives 3 different stages from this drill attack until he's able to open up the target or the enemy that he's single target with this ability. So essentially goes toward target, starts drilling, and then throughout time the drill does open and goes to different states and does more damage until the creature or enemy he's versing is opened up, split open, and destroyed. It reminds me of a little bit of Bioshock with the actual drill and how you use it in Bioshock. It feels like that in Devil May Cry 5, but also to get to the other stages as quickly as possible within the Helter Skelter drill. You'll be able to press a button. In this case, if it's an Xbox One controller, you'll be pressing the B button, mashing that to reach those last stages as quickly as possible on the drill to do as much damage in a short time frame. The 7th Devil Breaker arm is Rawhide. This does give Nero the ability to pick up a certain target and spin it continuously and do damage as much as possible to that target. But he can also pick up multiple targets and do every effect of damage because of the spin effect. And as you can see from the gameplay, he picks up the enemy, does damage to multiple enemies at the same time while also having that single target enemy on his chain, and then pulls it back, smashes the ground with that single target, instantly killing that, and then also doing a lot of damage to the other targets. If they're not dead yet, they will take a lot of damage. Just helps Nero to control the environment and the people around him. If he's in a bad situation, uses this breakage move, and he's able to survive that area and maybe rethink of how he's going to engage those multiple creatures again at once. So that was 7 out of 8 Devil Breakers confirmed by the company for Devil May Cry 5. Additionally, there's the 8th Devil Breaker arm, which we think is that core attack thing. Hopefully I got the image up right now, and it's called Genius most likely. And essentially this does give Nero the ability to pick up enemies and knock them up into the air. That's what it looks like. I think that's what it is. I'm not too sure yet. So until we get more gameplay and more confirmation about that, that is my idea of what that 8th Devil Breaker arm is. So I think that's all I wanted to discuss in this video, highlight some of the gameplay, the abilities that can be used from the Devil Breaker, and how that can enhance your weapons and some sort, because it does provide stat effects, gives you time to rethink a situation or provide a setup opportunity against the creature, and majority of them, the gimmick is do damage, do a lot of it with this Devil Breaker arm. That's the idea. But mates, as always, tell me your opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about these Devil Breaker arms, and do you think they'll provide enough utility and unique aspects to the game to make it interesting and keep it interesting throughout the long run? Tell me your opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below. If you mates did enjoy this video, show so I smash that like button. We are aiming for 100 likes on this video. That'll be greatly appreciated if you do achieve that goal. And also, if you mates want to see more gaming content on my channel, all you have to do is share with your friends and hit the subscribe button. Become a mate today. And that is all this video. Oh, time to go, but don't you worry. Back very soon. Hey, Dads, boys, because you ain't seen nothing yet. Devil May Cry 5, when that does get released in 2019, the early stages of 2019, you know, I'm going to be grinding that game for a week and I won't be on the channel. I'm sorry, mates. You have to put some dedication towards Devil May Cry 5 because that game is super hype.